Hey everyone, I'm in the midst of a high-speed chase for jaywalking and I don't have much time. Red light. Oh man, I'm already in so much trouble, and if they find out it's 2020 and I still haven't made a video on Wii Sports Resort, I'll go to jail for life. Better make this one fast.
Wii Sports, ever heard of it? Bitch! During the 2000s, it seemed like every family had a Wii, silly bands, and a copy of Wii Sports. The game was bundled in with the Wii and primarily served to show off everything the Wii Remote could do, now that games were less about pressing buttons and more about whatever the hell this is. Since Wii Sports was bundled in as the Wii sold millions upon millions of units, the game quickly became an iconic part of its library. And considering it was essentially just a collection of motion-controlled minigames that probably didn't take more than a decade or two to develop, it was an easy candidate for a sequel. So in 2009, Nintendo decided they were fans of money and released Wii Sports Resort on the Wii. I probably didn't need to say that part. Similar to how the original Wii Sports was meant to showcase the abilities of the Wii Remote, Wii Sports Resort showcased the Wii Motion Plus accessory, an add-on you could attach to your remote, enabling it to track your motion much more accurately. The game released alongside this accessory and came bundled with one, but fear not if this was a bit too complex for you, the game opens with 3 minutes of instructional videos just for you. Thankfully, these don't take too long, so we can get right to the game.
Disconnecting the Wii Motion Plus accessory.
Hang on. We can get right to the game.
Connecting a nunchuck controller to the Wii Motion.
Right to the game.
If your Wii Motion Plus accessory.
After figuring that out, your Mii is forced against their will to hop off the battle bus and dance until only one is left standing. Looks like everyone practiced but me. And then we finally jump into the game, or rather, one of 12 different games. You know, for a game called Wii Sports, it's really stretching the definition of sport. Like swordplay, power cruising, basketball, never heard of it. First up we have Swordplay, which was actually one of my favorites as a kid and the one I remember playing the most. There are actually 3 different game modes included here: Duel, Speed Slice, and Showdown. Duel is the most notable in my opinion, where you just stand on this platform and try to knock the opponent off by swinging your sword around, or more accurately, flicking your wrist as fast as humanly possible. A simple game, but it's always fun, especially with a friend, and I wish this were an esport. Speed Slice requires you to slice objects in a specific direction before your opponent does, and that's all there is to it. It's not a bad game per se, but if you choose this over Duel, you're a fucking goofball. And our final sword game is Showdown, which sees you march through a crowd of angry Miis that clearly have something against you as you strike them down one by one. I had honestly forgotten about this game mode, but slicing your way through hordes of enemies is actually surprisingly satisfying and makes this a pretty fun game. Next up is Wakeboarding, which pretty simply has you tilt the remote side to side to catch air off the wake and shake it to do tricks. It's a bit more of an underwhelming game than I remembered, but I absolutely love this narrator and wish he was in my life more. In Frisbee, you can choose between Frisbee Dog and Frisbee Golf. This is the hardest decision I've made in my life. Frisbee Dog is another very basic game where you flick your wrist to toss the Frisbee towards a target area and hope your dog catches it there for max points. Not much to this, and controls can be wonky at times, but I can't believe they got the same poster I brought to a Red Sox game. Frisbee Golf. It's Frisbee with a golf. Do I really need to explain this? This is the more fun Frisbee game in my opinion, and with several different courses and Frisbees to choose from, it's one of the most in-depth sports in the game. Lots of fun and frustration to be had with this one. Archery is a pretty unconventional control scheme where you have to use the Wii Remote and nunchuck while aiming with the remote and pulling back with the nunchuck, but it actually works pretty well. Basketball 3-point contest. Just imagine ringing a bell over your head. This is not helping. This can either be the most satisfying or least satisfying game depending on how you play it. Like, if your goal is to miss shots, it can be very satisfying. A reasonably fun distraction from time to time though, and it reminded me after all these years of this guy whose voice I just can't explain. We've also got good old-fashioned 3-on-3, meet us in the park, we'll fuck you up. Table tennis is a classic that's really best enjoyed with a friend, but those weren't included. There's also Return Challenge, where you try to return as many balls as possible, a bit too easy if you ask me. Golf. It's golf. Yeah, the game's not bad. It's exactly what you'd expect from a motion-controlled golf game, but if you're not swinging full force, are you really having fun? Bowling returns from the original Wii Sports, and this time we get 2 brand new modes. Standard game is just the same as the old one, and is always a nostalgic little game to play. 100 pin bowling is exactly what it sounds like. Chuck the ball down the lane at 100 pins and watch a bunch fall. It's actually pretty satisfying, except I learned online that if you can get the ball to roll all the way down the railing, you get a strike, so I spent the entire time trying to do that, but at least it worked. And our final bowling game is Spin Control, which is an obstacle course meant to help you improve your ability to put spin on the ball or throw directly into the barrier. Power cruising makes you feel like you're in a high-speed chase. On second thought, that might just be me. This game requires you to hold both the Wii Remote and Nunchuck sideways, pointed towards each other, then hold B and twist them forward as if you're driving a jet ski. I don't like this. Alright, show of hands. Whose favorite Wii sport is canoeing? You didn't see any hands, did you? That's right, because they're all in jail. This game mode is about as simple as it can get. You hold the Wii Remote upright and paddle it like, well, a paddle, and try to get from over here to over there. There's really not much to it, but at least it works. Cycling feels less like cycling and more like Donkey Konga. You whack the remote and nunchuck up and down, one after the other, in order to bike as fast as you can, but whoa, slow down there, Sonic. Drumroll too fast and your Mii runs out of breath. But don't worry, everyone's favorite disembodied head, Vincenzo, is there to guide you every step of the way, and what 30th place the race hasn't even started.
That's what you get when you disobey Vincenzo.
Finally, we have Air Sports, which is actually made up of 3 very distinct games. Skydiving lets you relive the opening animation, but now your goal is to catch as many falling people as you can, just like real skydiving. Dogfight is not what it sounds like, Michael, I swear. In this game, you and a friend can battle each other in airplanes, where you tilt the Wii Remote to steer, hold A to shoot, thrust forward to get a speed boost, and really you're just holding A to shoot, that's all you need. This game could be a lot of fun with a friend, flying across the island, battling each other, but I played it against myself. It was a one-sided affair. Finally, Island Flyover. Hold the Wii Remote like a paper airplane, are you sure? Island Flyover is a one-player only game where you can just kick back and explore the island in your plane. Your goal is to fly through these floating eyeballs, collecting information about all of the island's landmarks, but really you could just goof off and fly wherever you want. Personally, I've always had a soft spot for this game. It might not be the same kind of fun as competing with friends in Swordplay or bowling, but it always kinda relaxed me to just soar around what is a surprisingly big and beautiful island for a Wii game. It's a bit annoying that there is always a time limit on it, so you can't just freely fly around for as long as you want. But even in 5-minute bursts, it's fun to just fly around and explore. Plus the added tension at the end if you're trying to get to one last place or do one cool trick before the game ends adds a little excitement too. I didn't really realize until now, but I have a lot of nostalgia for this game mode, and to me, if you don't have any friends around to play with, this is the go-to single-player Wii Sports Resort game. So overall, as a follow-up to the Wii's most successful game and one of the best-selling games of all time, Wii Sports Resort holds its own as a worthy successor. You can complain about the motion controls not being super precise or the fact that each of these game modes aren't very in-depth, but that's not what Wii Sports Resort is about. This game is representative of the Wii era, a time where Nintendo dared to do something unique and focus on casual, motion-controlled games. And as just that, a casual game to pick up and play alone or with friends, Wii Sports Resort is truly one of the Wii's best games. So there's my video on Wii Sports Resort. I can't believe we actually made it. And just in time, too. Also, I stole a car.
License and registration, please? Listen, officer, I'm really sorry for jaywalking and stealing a car. I'll never jaywalk again. Just please let me off this time. Jaywalking? No, you were just in our way. That guy still hasn't made a video on Wii Sports Resort. License and registration, please?